Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Friday, June 13th. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th. Everybody, very spooky. Hopefully that means a lot of dongs tonight. I'm going to have 4 MLB home run picks for you guys to lock in for tonight's MLB betting slate. Pretty decent slate of games that we have. Granted, there are some weather concerns that we'll talk about. But before we do that, we got to recap yesterday. Can't hide from it. Another tough one. I wish I could come on here, say something creative, more unique than what's happening basically the last 2 months, but did not get any of these guys to hit a home run. Byron Buxton, Juan Soto, Christian Walker, Cam Smith. I went hard with 2 guys on the Astros. Only one Astro hit a home run, so, my logic in that was incorrect regardless, and the guy was Isaac Paredes. Did not get Christian Walker or Cam Smith. 0 for 4 yesterday, down exactly a unit. Brings our losses above the 5-unit mark, almost down 6 units on the year, a season low in terms of losses. So that's not great. Down 8% ROI on the year. That's not great either. We started off the year so hot, and we are really, really paying for it since then. The weather's turned to June, some better weather games, and that hasn't really helped us. So trying everything I can to get out of this rut, trying up different strategies and stuff like that. I tried spraying the board, tried going with some different stuff. Hasn't really worked out. Confident that we will get out of this rut, but I wish I could say anything different other than it's been tough. I appreciate all the comments and stuff have been positive. People have been playing the home run picks a little bit differently. Some people playing doubles, bases, hits, whatever. People are able to have success doing that. These guys just aren't clearing fences. Or people are just doing no home run parlays with the ones that I give out, and they're catching those. So congratulations to those of you doing that. But as for today, there's not a ton of agreement in terms of the best weather games of the day when you look at Ballpark Pal and when you look at Weather Edge. When you compare the two, they have the Weather Edge has the Cubs game as green. Ballpark Pal has it as red. Now, Ballpark Pal looks at both the stadium and the weather, but even from a weather perspective, it's slightly in the red. So there's a little bit of agreement there. Wrigley Field is just a little bit, it's a hitter's park in general. It's not a hitter's park. It's a pitcher's park is what I meant to say, which is why you see Ballpark Pal a little bit lower at Wrigley. Citizens Bank Park, plus 16% according to Ballpark Pal, minus 4% according to Weather Edge. The best game when you look at both of them is this Angels-Orioles game, which is 17% plus like a home run differential when you look at Weather Edge, and it is a plus 5 when you look at Ballpark Pal. So that one is the best weather game of the day. Ballpark Pal likes Nats Park, likes the bank, likes Dodger Stadium. And then Weather Edge likes the Red Sox Yankees, which Ballpark Pal slightly likes, likes it for runs, but not home runs. Sorry, I mixed that part up. Likes the Tigers Reds, Weather Edge doesn't like Mets. You can kind of go through. This Braves Rockies game is slightly in the red, according to Weather Edge, and it's slightly in the green, according to Ballpark Pal, and do have a play there. So hopefully this weather stuff was interesting. The first play that we're going to lock in here actually is in this Braves-Rockies game. And I'm going with Matt Olsen to hit a home run. Now, he admittedly has pretty gross odds. He is best offered at plus. If you use no vig, you can get him at plus 326. No vig is an exchange. It's only available in the United States, and it's only available in certain states in the US, but if you can use it, I highly, highly, highly recommend signing up. It's basically it is an exchange, which is a peer-to-peer market, which basically means you can get better odds sometimes than what the sportsbooks offer, and you can also request odds. So you can do that on NoVig and ProphetX. You basically say, hey, I want this at plus 330, and if I can't get it, then I won't play it, and somebody has the option to match the other side. So anyways, if you can't use NoVig, that's fine. Plus 300 at FanDuel, I am still playing, and that's what I am officially tracking this at as well. I find it unfair to track at a price that isn't readily available compared to a site like FanDuel. And I'm just putting quarter unit on every single one of these guys. So I'm not really messing with higher unit size or anything like that. So the thing with Matt Olsen, there are 2 things. He's got a really good matchup against Herman Marquez of the Rockies, and Olsen's been hitting the ball pretty well recently. I mean, you look at the Braves the last week, he leads the Braves in barrels with 4. And he's also tied with the most hard hits with 8, which that part isn't amazing. But hard hit rate, 57% is good. Barrel rate of 28% is very good. And he's even putting the ball in the air. 42% fly ball rate for Matt Olsen, only a 21% ground ball rate. That's really good for him, who has struggled with the launch angle this year. Over the last 2 weeks, shows a similar story. He's second on the Braves with 18 hard hits. That's a more respectable number. And he leads the Braves in barrels. Now you go over the weather edge, you look at barrel rate on the season against righties. Matt Olsen leads the Braves. You look at the barrel rate over the last 30 days against righties. Matt Olsen leads the Braves. And that ground ball rate below 40% for Matt Olsen is pretty good. Now the pitcher he's going up against, Herman Marquez. Absolute dong ball pitcher, mostly against lefties. Now he can get hit hard by righties as well. So this isn't me saying that a righty is incapable of hitting him. I just like Olsen a little bit better. And you look at it against lefties. Barrel rate on the season, 8.2%. Barrel rate last 30 days to lefties, 12.7%. ISO rate 250 allowed to lefties is disgusting. That's really, really bad. And on the season, 190 is also really bad. WOBA, everything is red when you look at the column versus left-handed hitters. The pitches that get smoked by lefties, there are 3: knuckle curve, four-seam fastball, and the sinker. And the changeup as well. It's really all, everything except for his slider gets hit hard. And you go on the season, you go by pitch by pitch, knuckle curve. Olsen, he doesn't have a barrel. He's only seen 3. He struck out twice, but the one he hit, he crushed it and he put it in the air. It just did not quite clear a fence. He got too far under it, but that's against the knuckle curve. The four-seam fastball is where things look a little bit better. 26% barrel rate against four-seamers from righties. Again, it's low ground ball rate of only 34%. That's pretty good. The sinker, he hits hard, but he puts the ball into the ground. So we see 10% barrel rate, 80% hard hit rate is really good. Only a 10% fly ball rate, but he does line drive it a little bit more, which a line drive can be a home run. And then the changeup, the off-speed stuff is not as good for Olsen. It's really the heat. The fastball, the sinker, and the knuckle curve isn't bad as well. So a lot of things to like about Matt Olsen. The only thing really not to like are the odds. And, I feel like I've been trying to go a little bit. I kind of either go full send on the gross odds, like, plus 220 on Schwarber I took one day, or I just avoid them completely. Like the best hitters I won't play because the odds stink. So I'm trying to find the best balance there. And I didn't want to avoid Olsen because even though the plus 300, like it was, the plus 300 was about 5% positive EV strictly from a line shopping perspective. You look at all the other books. Some of these Mickey Mouse ones have decent prices like 285, but most books that you look at, Pinnacle, plus 255, ESPN Bet, 240, Bookmaker, 240, Hard Rock, 225, Fanatics, 225, PointsBet, 190, DraftKings, 190. So you kind of see the 300 at FanDuel actually isn't bad when you compare to the market. So that's play number 1, Matt Olsen to hit a home run. Next up, another relatively square one. Not relatively, a pretty square one. I'm going with Cal Raleigh to hit a home run. He is best offered at plus 340 at FanDuel. And you can also get some decent prices on the exchanges as well. Like, I'm heavily limited on DraftKings. I don't even bother playing it. But you can get 333 at no vig, which is close. And you can also try and request 340, 350, whatever. But Cal Raleigh, there's not much to say about him. He's incredible. He had this stretch since May 27th. You look, he's played in, of course, this is going to take forever to load. Fangraphs does this every 30 minutes. They short circuit and just decide to take forever to load. So we'll switch over here to Plate IQ. So Gavin Williams is pitching for the Reds. He's not terrible. Kind of a similar guy that gets hit up by lefties. ISO rate of 171 on the year isn't terrible, but 226 last 30 days is worse. Fly ball rate, he's generally a ground ball pitcher, which is kind of funny. Like, his fly ball rate is up against lefties, but his ground ball rate is also up, which just means where he's been sacrificing it is the line drive. But that fly ball rate in the red, that's perfect for someone like Cal Raleigh, who the reason he is such a good home run hitter is because he's able to put the ball in the air at such a consistent rate. 42% fly ball rate on the year. And then on the last 30 days, up to 45%. That's why his barrel rate is so good. Barrel rate from Gavin Williams, lefties, 12.7% on the year, 19% last 30 days. That's terrible. Now we go back to Cal. So it's been 14 games that he's played since May 27th. He's hit 9 home runs. That's where I meant to go. 9 home runs in that stretch. Really, really good. Barrel rate, 19.5%, 56% hard hit rate. The launch angle, a beautiful 21-degree launch angle. Fly ball rate 63% in this stretch. Now it's what, a 2-3 week stretch? It's a small sample size, but that's the hot streak that he is in. Now what? It's been 3 games since he's hit a home run, but like 2 hard hits. And then he didn't have any last game. That's fine. 1 game without a hard hit isn't going to scare me off completely, especially when somebody's got such a good matchup like Cal Raleigh has. Now, the funny thing is, Gavin Williams throws the 4-seamer like 35% of the time. That gets hit the hardest. And as good as Cal Raleigh is, he doesn't have amazing stats against the 4-seamer. Like what, 3 batters in the last month have a better barrel rate against the 4-seamer than Cal Raleigh does. And on the season, it's kind of similar. You know, granted, one of them is a tiny sample size, but Arozarena and Rowdy Tellez have a better barrel rate against 4-seamers than Cal Raleigh. 14% is good, but it's not amazing. Everything else, Raleigh crushes. Cutter, sweeper, curveball, all the off-speed stuff that's not quite just the heat. Cal hits really well, and he still hits the fastball well. Like an ISO rate of 263 against the 4-seamer is still good, right? That's not a bad number. So, and you know, the Mariners' home stadium is not amazing, conducive for home runs, but Cal, that hasn't seemed to matter because he pulls it, so he doesn't need to hit it as far. His ISO rate at home, 373. His ISO rate against righties, 370. I mean, he's an amazing hitter, so his numbers are going to be really good across the board, but none of this stuff is anything to be scared off of. And 340 for him is not that bad. So that is our second play, Cal Raleigh. Next up, I'm going to go with Mike Trout to hit a home run. Now this, if you compare both Weather Edge and Ballpark Pal, probably the best game of the day from a weather perspective. It's the only one that's highly rated by both. It's plus 5% according to Ballpark Pal. The stadium is plus 3. The weather is also plus 3. I guess they round it up and then down to 5%. But then Weather Edge has it at 17%. And they calculate things a little bit differently, which is why you're going to see different numbers. But I like the fact when there is some sort of agreement. Now, Weather Edge is obviously much higher on it, but it's the only game where there's some sort of agreement. Now, Mike Trout, you look at him, couple things here. Number one, he hasn't hit a home run in 8 games. So those of you that like the fact, like taking a player that is due, you're going to like Mike Trout. He's also been hitting the ball hard. So for those of you that like taking batters that you feel are hot at the plate, which is generally what I try to do, granted that hasn't worked out for me recently, that's still Mike Trout. 16 hard hits in his last 8 games is incredible. 76% hard hit rate is really, really good. Now, only 3 barrels, but like 3 barrels in 8 games isn't terrible. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. Barrel in each of his last 2 games as well. He just hasn't been able to get one to clear fence, but he's still been hitting the ball really hard. And the guys going up against Charlie Morton, you know, he's been better in his last month than he has been on the season. Charlie Morton has, like you look at his stats on the year versus the last 30 days. The last 30 days looks a little bit better. I am not scared off of Charlie Morton at all. He's 95 years old. He can get hit really hard. And it's really just his last 2 starts that have been good. Every other start mostly hasn't been good. So I'm not going to say, oh, we shouldn't take him just because of the last 2 starts, right? As the dog, say hello. 10% barrel rate, 8.7% barrel rate on the year. 5% over the last 30 days is better. Now, he's technically worse against lefties, but he's still like nobody that I'm going to be scared off of from a righty as well. And Mike Trout, as good as Trout is, it's actually better against right-handed pitching. He's a righty that's better against righties. I mean, you look at his splits, he literally has all of his home runs hit off of right-handed pitching. And what I also like about Mike Trout is he hits the soft stuff very, very hard. And that's all Charlie Morton throws. Like you look at his usage, yeah, sure, he throws the 4-seamer, but like the 4-seam fastball, it's doing a disservice calling it a fastball because it's not fast at all. It's really like the curveball, the sinker, the changeup, the cutter, all that stuff. It gets hit hard by Trout, especially the curveball, which is what I wanted to show you. He hasn't seen a ton, but the ones that he has seen, he has crushed. So we'll go over to Game Day Insights here, where I can show you, and I need to take away Jack Kachanovitz. We're going to talk about him in a little bit. The curveball is what gets hit hardest by Charlie Morton. And I want to look at the season for Mike Trout, and I want to show you the curveball. So I think he's seen 5. So it's small sample size, but 413-foot home run, this one is not giving the feet, probably because it was sent so far they couldn't track it. 115 miles per hour off the bat. So the curveballs he has seen, he has hit very, very hard. That's generally the home run pitch for Charlie Morton. So Trout's going to see a curveball. He's going to send it to space. That is play number 3. And I think I forgot to give the odds, plus 400 for Mike Trout to hit a home run. That is not bad for him, especially in a presumably decent weather game. Plus 400 for Trout is pretty good. Got that over at bet 365. Send it out to tails with the bet link and stuff, so you can tail that. Pun intended. Fourth and final pick of the video. Also staying in the same game, give me Cedric Mullins to hit a home run. I mentioned we're going to go back to Jack Chanovitz. That is the pitching matchup. That's what we really like about this one. Jack gets crushed by lefties, and this is pretty dramatic. He is one of those guys where it's a pretty big difference between the two. On the season, barrel rate of 12.5% allowed to lefties, 5.7% against righties. Last 30 days, that barrel rate against lefties goes up. That barrel rate against righties goes down. Hard hit rate, 77% against lefties. That's terrible. Over the last 30 days, about 65% on the year. ISO rate of 219 across the board is really bad. He's allowed a home run to a lefty. That's Charlie Morton. Let me go back to Jack Kachanovitz. He's allowed a home run to a lefty every 15.5 at-bats on the year. That's disgusting. The biggest issue for him is his sinker. Granted, he's got a couple of home run pitches. And Mullins has pretty good numbers against righties. Like, you look at the season, he's barrel rate of 10% against righties. That's not terrible. I mean, a decent amount of barrel rate for these guys on the Orioles. But the last 30 days, that number goes up to 12.9%. Now, Mullins, the thing with him is he missed some time. So he got hurt in the end of May, missed about 2 weeks, came back June 10th. So only played 2 games, so tiny sample size, but hit the ball pretty well in his last game. So all I really wanted to see was, did he come back and wasn't completely ice cold at the plate? And the answer to that was yes. He ripped 2 doubles, EV of 102.9. He got a barrel, 3 hard hits. Like that stuff is all good. But what I really like about Cedric Mullins is what he does to sinkers. So you look at the entire year, barrel rate against sinkers, which we know is really the home run pitch that you're going to, it's really the sinker and the changeup, but the sinker is what he's going to see about 50% of the time from Jack Kachanovitz. Barrel rate, 25% against the sinker, 50% fly ball rate. He's the only guy on the Orioles that can put a sinker in the air. Like, his hard hit rate is low. 37% is admittedly not great, but when he does get a hold of it, he barrels it up and he puts the ball in the air. You look at these other guys, Gunnar Henderson, ground ball rate, 2/3 of the time. Adley Rutschman, 70% ground ball rate against the sinker. Jordan Westburg, granted, he's a righty, so we wouldn't take him anyways, 50%. You kind of see what I'm talking about here. And then the other pitch is the changeup. Cedric Mullins, kind of the opposite, where his barrel rate is low, but the hard hit rate is better. Now, Adley Rutschman also has good numbers there, but ground ball rate of 50% is low. And then the price on Cedric Mullins at plus 500, I really liked, right? Plus 500 at bet 365. And you can also get that at ESPN Bet as well. So that is our fourth and final pick of the video, Cedric Mullins to hit a home run. 4 plays for you guys to lock in. 2 of them, relatively gross odds, 300 and 340. Kind of chalk at 400, and then a better price at plus 500. We get, if Matt Olsen is the only one that hits a home run, we will break even. If it's Cal and only Cal, we'll make slight money. And then if we get multiple, we'll be pretty decent in the profit. We get all 4. We're profiting 3.85 units, which isn't bad. Would do a nice dent into our losses on the year. That would be nice. But that's all we got. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the links in the description of the video if you want to support the channel. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.